I love the church music. I don't need it. Happy Tuesday, everybody. My name is Mikey Jimenez, and this is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from the west side of San Antonio. West Bexar County also represented, and you know that Kirby northeast side of San Antonio is going to be represented as well because it is Tuesdays with Teague. Carolina Teague, CT, the Mike Slayer, will be on in a couple of minutes, but we have a lot to get into today. You know, it's one of those things. I come in oftentimes late, right? Yeah. I walk in here right at 10:15, and I was like, what are we talking about today?
Fuck if I know.
Fuck if I know. Yeah. we really haven't really thought much into this show today, so I'm preparing you for that.
He was listening to us because
he needs a shirt.
Yeah.
Here's what I do know. The Spurs Rodeo road trip wraps up today. That's a big deal because the Spurs finally come back in town on February 29th on Leap Day. So we'll get into that. Mock drafts. NFL mock drafts are out. We have CT the Mike Slayer going to be on. Carolina Teague is a big fan of the Chicago Bears. What are the Bears going to do? Should the Bears actually draft a quarterback or maybe trade Justin Fields? I want to get her take on that.
Yeah.
My team, the New Orleans Saints.
There we go.
Restructured a deal earlier this week for Derek Carr. So Derek Carr is apparently coming back, and they are just leaving this big old ticking time bomb down the road that's going to explode on my team at some point. So I want to get into that. There was a controversial ending to the Knicks game last night, and Monty Williams, if Monty Williams is fined a dime, we should all have a GoFundMe to kind of get him out of the NBA jail, because my goodness, that was the worst no call I've seen in the NBA in a long time. We'll get into some pop culture. RCW as well was this past weekend. Carolina Teague did an amazing job.
You were smitten. And
I was smitten by one of the performers. Let's go and bring in Carolina Teague. What's going on, CT?
Oh, there I am. What's up, you guys?
What's up, CT?
Ooh, we got to drag you into the skin. There you are. What's going on, Carolina? How you doing today?
Good. Just refreshed, getting packed for my trip. I'm headed out to Indianapolis tomorrow to cover the NFL Combine.
Very nice. Very nice. The Combine coming up. The mock drafts are rapid fire right now. I saw that The Athletic has one today. NFL.com has one today. CBS Sports has one today. And a lot of people believe that the quarterbacks are going to be the talk of the town when it comes to it all, because that is the glamour position in the NFL. Now, one of the things about the upcoming draft is that your Chicago Bears are on the clock for a lot of different reasons. One is, who are they going to take number one overall? And number two, what are they going to do with Justin Fields? Now, here's the thing. You are a Bears fan, a diehard Bears fan. And I know it's been a struggle the past 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years being a fan of the Bears.
Don't bring up the double doink.
But if you are the GM of the Bears right now, are you taking a quarterback? If so, which one? Or are you rolling the dice with another year of Justin Fields?
I hate playing GM. I'm a Justin Fields fan. I say stick with Justin Fields and get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Y'all going to be in the same purgatory as the Cowboys.
You know what? Okay, go ahead.
Let me tell you what I like about it. Number one, this morning, the Chicago Bears had their media presser with Ryan Poles, the GM, at the Combine, and he basically said if they're not going to move forward with Justin Fields, they will move quickly. They're not going to waste anybody's time. They're going to do what's best for the organization. They're going to make the best decision, but they're pretty much everybody's going to be aware of what's going to happen in case that does go down. But he also said that he's not concerned about Caleb Williams wanting to play for the Bears either. That's not one of the things at the top of his list. And so that leads me to believe that perhaps they could stay with Justin Fields, although this is everybody wants Caleb Williams at the same time. But the thing that I like about Marvin Harrison Jr. is that he played for Ohio State. He ran the same offense as Justin Fields. I don't think they had the same coaches, but still they're familiar with, they didn't have to work the same years, but they had the same coaches for the offense. So I feel like they have a lot of similarities. They already know the playbook well for Ohio State. They could kind of have that connection in that sense. And I think Justin Fields already has weapons with DJ Moore, and he exploded in the second half of the season. It's not like he was regressing. He was much better. So I personally am a Justin Fields fan. I would like to see them stay with Justin Fields. It's a really tough call.
Now, Justin Fields right now, just 24 years old, going to turn 25 this week. A couple of things. He's been a starter for the Bears for 3 years. His accuracy is getting a little bit better. He went from 59% to 60 to 61.5. His interceptions per attempt have gone down as well. So last season, he only had 9 interceptions and 370 attempts. He has shown that he can actually run the ball at a clip of 1,000 yards per season. He did that a couple of seasons ago. This is a very talented guy with absolutely no weapons. So this morning, my friend Steven called me. He's a big Atlanta Falcons fan. So he's following all the Atlanta Falcons rumors going on. And one of the rumors is that the Bears, if they do decide to go for a quarterback, could trade Justin Fields to another team. Why not a team in the NFC South, whether it be the Saints or the Atlanta Falcons? And we were talking about this. He was like, man, I don't know if I want to get this guy. I would rather go after a Jaden Daniels from LSU instead. And I was telling him, if you get Justin Fields for a second or third rounder, you then get to keep your first round pick. And on top of that, you could also trade down to accumulate to get even more assets along the way. I'm still a believer in Justin Fields. I just think he's in a bad situation. You put him on a decent team, he's going to blow up.
And that's the issue. That's the thing. If you put him on a decent team, and the issue with the Chicago Bears has always been the position at quarterback. Justin Fields is not the worst quarterback the Bears have ever had, but what people really don't look at is the offensive line and the struggles that they've had for many, many years with drafting the correct people in those positions or trading, whatever the case may be. But now he does have weapons. He has DJ Moore. If they get Marvin Harrison Jr., that's going to be another weapon. They have Cole Kmet. And like I said, he's, like you said, he knows how to scramble, run the ball, and he's really effective in that sense. The main struggles of the Chicago Bears are, in my opinion, the coaching. That is why, they let go of their defensive coordinator. But coaching is a big issue. Stick with Justin Fields and perhaps get rid of the coach, if anything. But I would like to see him stay.
Do you know what gives me pause about Caleb Williams? Merrill Hodge. I remember Merrill Hodge. He was a NFL player, played for the Steelers for a handful of years, was on ESPN for a while. He got laid off, right? Which was sad because Merrill Hodge was like the oracle when it came to the draft. Famously, he shot down Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith by saying that Johnny Manziel was not only going to be a scrub, but he was going to be a complete failure in the NFL. He even said that Johnny Manziel had the talent of a 6th-round draft pick, a compensatory pick, not somebody who should have been picked in the first round, much less number 1 overall. And famously, Skip Bayless went off his rocker and was like, no. He's going to be the face of the league. Merrill Hodge, over the years, looks at certain players, and he is so accurate when it comes to quarterbacks, when it comes to running backs, when it comes to wide receivers, when it comes to defensive ends. Merrill Hodge knows what he's talking about. He can't stand Caleb Williams. He's like, Caleb Williams is not the guy. And when I heard Merrill Hodge say that, I got taken aback because Hodge is not a big name in the NFL, but that guy has a great batting average when it comes to picking and choosing who he thinks are going to be good players and who he thinks is going to suck. He was one of the ones who was like, yeah, Mahomes is going to be great, And so he looks at Caleb Williams, doesn't like him, just thinks he's another dude.
I wonder what he said about Justin.
I got to look that one up. But let's take a look at
That's a good question to ask. And also, too, I like Marvin Harrison Sr., who is his dad, played for the Colts. And I just feel like it's going to happen that way. And I hope it does.
That'd be a question for the poll.
What's that?
What CT was saying, she goes, that's a good question. It's like, maybe we should put something out there with the Bears and their QB.
Yeah, should they get rid of Justin Fields?
Exactly.
And I'm taking a look at this article that was done about it all. This was a couple of weeks ago where Merrill Hodge just went off on Caleb Williams. According to CBSSports.com, their latest mock draft was released today. They have Caleb Williams going to the Bears at number 1, Jaden Daniels of LSU going number 2 to the Washington Commanders, number 3, Drake May of North Carolina, quarterback, going to the Patriots, Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver, going to the Cardinals at number 4. They have the Chargers taking an offensive tackle. They have Malik Neighbors, stud receiver from LSU, going to the Giants. And let's take a look here at my Saints at number 15 or 14. Oh my God. If the Saints got Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia, at 14, I would be super excited. Super excited. And as for the Houston Texans at number 23, they believe that they're going to get Chop Robinson, an edge out of Penn State, and your Dallas Cowboys taking Cooper DeJean, cornerback from Iowa. That's according to CBS Sports. But again, we are in this purgatory there, CT, because you have a quarterback that, I mean, he's all right. Could be good. He's all right. I'm a Saints fan. I have Derek Carr, who's the actual definition of I. He doesn't suck. He's not good. He's not bad. He's I.
No, he's the definition of mid. You know?
Yeah.
If mid, you look it up in the dictionary, it's Derek Carr, bro.
And if you looked at Derek Carr's stats, you would be like, he's actually pretty good. Derek Carr last year, 68% accuracy, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, threw for almost 3,900 yards. That's a good season. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, push comes to shove, fourth quarter, 3-point game, he's just all right. He doesn't have that winning intangible there that a Mahomes does, or a Josh Allen, or, you know, these stud quarterbacks out there. He's just all right.
And I put the poll out there. It's right now in the chat.
Yeah.
Everybody's voting on it.
So speaking of the chat, we're exclusive right now on YouTube, and later on in the day, we'll be on all the major podcast platforms. Noah Pettis reaches out and says, trade Fields and get more picks to build around Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. It's a good point.
I mean, like I said, I just feel like this is where my heart lies, and I know it's best for my team. Just kidding. I think what really, so I am going to the combine. So a part of me is just like nervous. I've never been there. So if you guys see anything in particular that you want me to cover, I mean, I definitely want to cover players who are from Texas, of course. And of course, try to put the best content out there. But if there's anything you'd like to see, feel free to let me know. And also, if any of you guys are watching and want to support my NFL Combine endeavors, please message me or let me know, and I can send you my Venmo or Cash App information, and any support would be great.
Very nice. You know, our team got together, our listeners got together for Katie Goodman. She was doing her thing in Australia. We can give this effort as well. We're with the Carolina Teague. You can follow her on Twitter /X at CT the Mike Slayer. Who are you representing over there at the combine? Who are you reporting with?
I'm going to be with the Las Vegas Sports Network. My friends over there at Q Myers and their team are out there ready to cover, and I'm going to be out there with them. I went to the Super Bowl with them last year, Jimenez. If you don't, I was with you. Yeah, and they're a really great team. They were recently ranked, I think, number 19 in the country by Barrett as and Q's one of the best program directors in the country. And they had 2 of their shows in the top market for the midday in the top 20. So, because they have multiple stations. So they're crushing it out there. And Q has been a great mentor for me as far as my work ethic is concerned. And just having the opportunity to go out there and represent them in a positive way is an amazing opportunity. And I'm very thankful for the Las Vegas Sports Network and Q Myers for all of the support that they've given me.
Very cool. Carolina Teague going to be out there in Indianapolis. Let's see how fast she runs her 40 when she's out there.
That's what I
want to know.
I want to see that video.
Now, the Spurs wrap up the Rodeo road trip tonight. The Spurs have lost 11 of 12 games, right now at 11-47, on pace to have the worst season in Spurs franchise history in 51 years. Tonight, probably another loss, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves on the road, a 7 p.m. tip-off. It's a little bit earlier than normal. Wolves favored by 13.5 points. Spurs are coming off of a very interesting stretch of games going on. You know, I thought that things might they might right the ship a little bit when it came to the All-Star break, but it really hasn't happened that way. The big news that happened in the last game was the fact that Keldon Johnson got yanked from the game, only allowed to play 4 minutes. They sat his ass down. I say that they put him in the doghouse. And I went on a little bit of a rant there, CT, yesterday. People think that I like script these or I purposefully do them, but sometimes I get in a pissy mood. And I was thinking about it. The more I thought about it, I'm like, why would the Spurs self-sabotage themselves when it comes to Keldon Johnson? Because Keldon Johnson was not only benched, they also went after him in the post-game interviews. Mitch Johnson talking about how Keldon Johnson has had a history of doing bad mistakes and not correcting them. Is that actually the storyline that you want to give the public other teams, like say maybe the Atlanta Hawks, who need to take on certain players and certain salaries to get a Trae Young deal done. I thought that they shot themselves in the foot when it came to it all. The Spurs are 11-47. Why are they benching a guy that's been there for 5 seasons? What are your thoughts on Keldon Johnson being yanked and now in Pop's doghouse?
Pop is going to run his ship the way he wants to. And if there's critical mistakes that are being made, then Greg Popovich has the right to bench him if he likes. My concern is also bench everybody else who makes mistakes as well. Or maybe this is just a mind game, like DeJounte Murray had alluded to, in order to get him to become the best version of himself. And if that's the method, then so be it. I think Pop is really intelligent when it comes to coaching, and he knows what's best to get into the mindset of these players in order to create the best version of themselves. So as much as I love Keldon Johnson, I would like to see other players get benched too when they're not having similar performances. Maybe perhaps because he's a vet, he's being treated a little bit more harsher. But I do feel like this is all for the better. It's not a bad thing necessarily.
100% disagree. 100% disagree because they're 11-47. There's not one guy out there that is doing their job. Jeremy Sohan had 1 point in the last game. He continues to start. Pop continues to start Julian Champagnie out there. Champagnie is garbage out there. And I had high hopes for him earlier in the season. I was like, because Julian Champagnie at the end of last season was balling. I remember seeing him in Austin going, who is this guy? But let me go ahead and give you Julian Champagnie's stats for the last month. And this is who Pop is starting and giving 30 minutes, but yet yanking Keldon Johnson. Here are the point totals in the month of February for Julian Champagnie as a starter on this team, averaging about 22 minutes. 5, 8, 6, 8, 2, 2, 5, 10, 7, 2.
He played good in summer league, so I'm not I thought he was going to do great this year too. Honestly, the way he played in summer league was really good, so I thought he was going to just have this year where it was going to be great. But I know you disagree with me in a sense that they're all not playing competitive right now, but I think the reason why Pop is doing it to Keldon in particular is because he should be a quote unquote kind of a vet on the team since he's been here for so long. I think he's being judged that in that way.
I'll agree with you on that. But right now, the Spurs have 3 NBA players on this team. Okay, the Spurs have Victor Wembanyama, superstar. They've got Devin Vassell, who's an ideal number 2 or 3 guy on a team. They have Jeremy Sohan, who has a great motor and can play some defense, but has regressed when it comes to his shooting yet again. He came back to the mean. Okay, he was hot to start the season. The last 3, 4, 5, or 6 weeks, he's back literally to where he was last year, which wasn't that good. Trey Jones, I think, is a quality backup player. C.D. Osman, good backup player. Everybody else, what are we doing here?
Mamu's not a bad player when they give him some run.
Dude, who called Mamu the victory cigar, the Bizarro victory cigar, talking about how when the Bulls would bring out Jack Haley, he was the human victory cigar. Yeah. Say that Mamu is the human equivalent of a white flag being raised because they're surrendering for the night. That's so funny. Mamu. I mean, dude, they're not NBA talents, dude. Dom Barlow, he's growing on me. Dominic Barlow, there might be something there when it comes to it. But at the very least, Keldon Johnson brings fire. Keldon Johnson does not, when he goes on the court, whether he's the best player, worst player, he's going to give you effort. And that says something. That's one thing that I respect about Keldon is that he has a motor and he's not going to go out there and half-ass it ever. He probably has the biggest heart. He just doesn't have the talent to necessarily to match it. But he's a decent player. He's an NBA player, NBA quality player. I think he's a good 6-man for a good team. I mean, he's going to be good. So the Spurs have like half a team that's NBA quality, and the other half is
G
League quality.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. But the Spurs, again, wrap up the Rodeo road trip tonight against the T-Wolves. Expecting a loss there, but you know what? I want to see what Wemby does. Because Wemby's bad games are still pretty good. And also, they come back home.
Man, the Spurs digital team, man, they just put out a graphic that says Spurs versus Wolves tonight. And it has a big, imposing picture of Wembanyama coming out of the woods like a giant and a little wolf on the bottom howling.
Funny.
That's pretty good, man. The digital team's doing some great work over there with the San Antonio Spurs. We're going to talk about this. I don't know if we want to talk about this while CT's on, but maybe afterwards. Have you seen the pictures that were posted of the mayor of Santa Rosa de Agurari?
No.
Oh, Lord have mercy, bro.
Okay, that's a Demon Mike time.
That's Demon Mike time.
Yeah. That's being Nesio time later on in the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Carolina, I was thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, you're getting love right now from across the ocean. Garrett Vandergrift saying hi, Carolina from Holland.
Hi, Garrett.
The Netherlands. We also had somebody, I believe it was Jason.
Oh yeah, Jason Garcia.
Jason Garcia asking the question: who would win a race, you in heels or me in boots?
Oh, there it is.
You in boots or me in heels? 100%.
Who runs faster, CT in heels or Mike in boots?
Me in heels.
Now I'm going to call up some of CT's performance from the other day over at RCW, which was fantastic. It was over at the Grand on 410 and Ingram Road. It was a sold-out crowd. I had a lot of fun out there. People were surprised that I was out there, CT, but it was nice seeing you, and you waved at me and everything. You beamed a little bit. You were a little bit surprised that I was there, even though I had shown that I had bought 5 tickets for the event.
Did she big time you?
I did not big time her at all.
I was so happy. Honestly, seeing your face made me so happy. I was just really, really happy that you came out to support. Honestly, like it was just like a really good feeling seeing you in the crowd. I didn't get to say hi to you because ring announcers, we have a really intense job. So we have to there's a lot of things that we have to do that you don't see. So we're really like on top of our stuff. So I didn't get to say hi. I was going to wait till the end of the show, but I was really grateful that you came by and took footage of me. I need that. That's awesome. And it was fun. It was fun. It was hella fun.
Oh, we have video showing right now of you doing the announcing the Von Erichs.
Yep.
That was amazing because of all the different, it was you and yet another co-MC going on.
Yeah.
But I was super excited that you got to announce the Von Erichs because, I mean, they are the sons of Texas wrestling royalty. And one of the things about it, though, you looked amazing, by the way.
Thank you. I look like a crayon.
I like the fact that when they jump up and down, it's like you're bouncing. Like,
yeah.
It's a weird thing, like it's like a mini trampoline.
And I think seeing it on like the way you guys see it right now, everybody's watching is one thing, but seeing it in person is a totally different energy. And I think Jimenez, now that you've been there, you can attest to that. Like the energy is always really good there, and I love it.
Next RCW event is on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. By the way, I'm going to say that not only was it fun over there, by the way, I took my nephew, one of my best friends, his wife is a really good friend of mine as well, and their son. We had a great time out there. They had food out there. They were serving, snacks, but they also had Little Caesars pizza that they were serving. We also got to have some cocktails while I was there. I bought 4 cocktails that had 3 slices of pizza shared between me and my party. $30. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. It was good, cheap fun. Now, one of the things that I liked about what was going on over there is we're showing the video of the event. And I have a special needs son. I have a son who has Down syndrome. The number of kids that I saw there that were on the spectrum of some sort, whether it be Downs or autism, it was nice to see. They were having a blast out there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought you were gonna bring your son because I was like, dude, he would really love this because there's a lot of people with Down syndrome and autism. Everybody's welcome at RCW. One of my best friends, Andrew, he is also special needs as well, and I love him to death. That's one of my best friends in the whole wide world, and he comes to the RCW events. Like it's literally for everybody, and that's what I love about RCW. There's no judgment. We really welcome people from all walks of life, and everybody feels welcome, and that's what I really love the most about wrestling in general and RCW in particular.
I like the interaction the wrestlers were having with the crowd, telling them to shut up. And one of the fights spilled into the crowd as well, went to the concession stand, went to the very back. That was pretty cool. I fell in love with Callie.
Oh my God, she's so good.
Yes, she was so fun.
Good.
Yeah. I knew she was going to get the pin. She's
going to she would kick your ass. I'm just going to tell you right now. Like, Callie, like her name, Calientita, that is literally like her. Like,
I don't think Mike would fight back.
she's super fiery. Like, you know how Latinas are naturally like fiery? She's like that times like 5. So that's her personality. She's really awesome.
Hey, can we get her to chop Mike one time?
We need to get her on the show. If we're going to get some of the wrestlers on the show to promote RCW going on March 17th.
Maybe we get Boom in here.
Yeah.
Brandon Oliver.
Yeah, get somebody out here and maybe one day I'll get body slammed. Maybe.
Mike Taylor did that one time. He
said really?
It was not fun.
I have been there for 5 years and Brandon has still not cleared for me to ever get body slammed. So it'll be tough. He's safety first.
Jason says, CT, you need to introduce Mike to Tommy. I know Tommy. Tommy's a staple out there.
Yep.
Real fast, we have video here of the Von Erichs winning by how? The Iron Claw. The Iron Claw to end it. That was great. That was the second to last fight that was out there. That was good times. Some of my favorite parts of all this was the crowd cheering, chanting, "This is awesome." That was pretty cool. And then also you'd say one fall and everyone would scream one fall.
Yeah. Welcome to wrestling, my friend.
It was like 2 shots.
Yeah, one fall. You know what I told CT? I want her to turn heel and be a manager of one of these wrestlers and like trip somebody at the last second to get, to throw the match for her in favor of her guy,
I'm already a manager at Mission Pro Wrestling. I'm already a manager. And
I want to be a villain. I want to see the villain.
I don't know if I have it in me. I mean, if I turn heel, then I have to like probably put my hands and get physical on somebody, but you never know. I actually had my meeting with Thunder Rosa. So yeah, you guys are going to see how that went down really soon. We
have some comments coming in on our YouTube stream. Mario Cavasso says, Mike's wants to be what? What is, I can't see it's the last one.
Where is it? Oh, Mike wants to be the Cholas.
Oh,
manager.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like them. They're
my favorite. I love the Cholas because they bring Takis out, hot Cheetos, all that stuff.
Chris Gonzalez says Mike would lose in a Fiesta fight to the woman.
No lies detected.
Hey, I'm 1-0 in Fiesta fights, but it was
a Fiesta match is a great concept. That would be awesome. And if you lose, you have to get hit like a piñata.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. CT, I always enjoy being with you today. So you've got the combine coming up. You got RCW March 17th. Anything else out in the horizon?
I think the combine, I have some other stuff, but it's not locked in yet. As soon as it gets locked in, and then I'll start promoting it. It's gonna be all, I don't be promoting stuff unless it's locked in now.
Yeah.
So
no, I can't. I can't tell you how much fun this wrestling was. I'm a believer now. A believer.
You said it was fake.
Well, there was this one part.
Where was all that fake energy when you was there? Where was all that? Because
I was cheering. There was this one part that happened where everyone looked shocked at the table, including you. You all were giving the look of
Khan, what happened. Deal because Khan is one of the RCW favorites. He's been, he's been at he's on Ring of Honor. He was a champion of Ring of Honor Japan, and he's been the RCW heavyweight champion for the longest time. And he lost his title to Bo Amir, but Bo Amir gained 30 pounds of muscle in the past 7 months or something like that. So he's, he is strong as hell now. So it doesn't surprise me that Bo Amir ended up winning because he's way more strong. But that was we were actually shocked. Like I was actually shocked.
Very cool.
Dead ass. But yeah, I was gonna say, but for sure, March 17th on St. Patrick's Day, it's gonna be at RCW, and 420, one of my favorite holidays. I'm gonna be at Mission Pro. I'm also gonna be on March, I think. Hold on. What is my everything's a blur right now. I think March 9th. Yeah, March 9th. I'm gonna be at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, and there's some other stuff that I have around the horizon that, like I said, they need to lock me in, and then once I get locked in, I'm gonna start promoting it. So that's what I like about Carolina is that just like a boxer, just like a fighter,
the last 48 hours before the fight or before the event, she goes on some extreme diet. What is that like?
Oh, I have officially lost 10 pounds.
Congrats.
Yes, I'm literally drinking my celery juice. But no, it's not like really crash dieting. Like I'm drinking celery juice every morning and I'm eating salads and I do eat carbs still. It's just a matter of like limiting my portions, which is something that I've had a hard time with, especially during stressful situations in my life. But I lost 10 pounds and because I'm getting booked out more, I know this sounds crazy, but I just want to like look my best and feel my best so I can perform at my best. I gave up alcohol. It's been over a month. I went 1 month without alcohol and then it was my best friend's birthday and I had something to drink. But but other than that, like it's because my best friend's birthday and she lives out of town. That's the only reason why I drank. I don't feel like drinking anymore. I just like really want to take care of my body. And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
That is Carolina Teague. You can follow her on Twitter at CT the Mike Slayer. Also, don't forget to subscribe to her podcast on YouTube. Carolina, we always have a pleasure. It's always a pleasure having you here. Thanks for being with us today.
Oh my gosh, I always have a great time with Teague. And everybody, thank you for listening. Oh, and don't forget, if you want to support me for my endeavors at NFL Combine, it's a little pricey. So anything helps. $5, $10, anything helps me. So if you can kindly message me on social media, or if I don't have you, please DM or shoot me a tweet or anything to get in touch with me. And I'll be happy to talk to you in regards to that. And I really appreciate everyone's love and support.
Outstanding. It's Carolina Teague. Again, the name of her podcast is A League of Her Own Podcasts on YouTube. CT, good friend of mine. Thanks for being on today.
Hey, CT, before you go, look at Chris Gonzalez. He said CT has entered the effing cute stage by losing 10 pounds.
I know that's right. I feel good. I look good. You know what I'm saying? So,
Did a great job. Did a fantastic job.
CT.
All right. I'll see you guys later. Watch me in Indianapolis. I'll have a good time and hope you guys enjoyed my coverage. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Very cool,
Bye.
CT. So she's on her weight loss journey. She's already accomplished a lot. I know that I am still on that journey. This weekend there is a 10K. There's a half marathon going on, the Alamo half marathon going on. That was the first one that I ran 7 years ago when I was 40 years old. I ran that half marathon. I did a 5K back in November. I've been doing 5Ks on my own, which is 3.12 miles.
A dollar goes in the thing.
Dollar.
Hey, look at what Grift or Vanderkiff put in here.
Yeah, Garrett, did I ask out CT's sister yet? No.
Look at this. He said he also lost 66 pounds since April.
That's amazing. That's amazing. The lowest I've been down this past year or year and a half or so, been about 17 pounds. So I'm looking less and less like that guy. Who was that guy that you said I looked like yesterday? Zimmerman. I'm looking less and less like Zimmerman by the day.
God.
Okay. But there's a 10K this weekend, and I'm thinking about doing it, man. 6.28 miles.
Oh, we had a request by Elias yesterday. He says, I paid my money. I wanted Mike to say no, Spurs, no. For the super chat, he says he wants you to say no, Spurs, no.
No, I can't do that, man. I can't do that. It was so funny because people were all on me yesterday asking me about if I was listening to some Twitter spaces yesterday because they were coming at me again. My favorite part of it all was that there were a few people on there in the last few spaces who've been like, yeah, you know, I was chatting with Jimenez about this and the other. We were going back and forth about this and the other. And I'm thinking to myself, I have no idea who you are. Not like in a arrogant way, as in like, I don't recognize the name. I usually go back and forth with certain people on Twitter.
Yeah.
And that was a name that I don't even recognize.
Were they coming at you or what are they doing?
No, they were, well, a little bit of both. It was a compliment sandwich. You know, it was a compliment, and then this is why I hate him, followed by a compliment. The funny thing is that people are like, you do this for clicks. You do this for engagement. I say what I say out of just pure fandom. Okay. I am a fan of the Spurs. I'm a fan of the Saints. I'm a fan of LSU football now. I'm a fan. UTSA football.
Yes.
SAFC. I will cheer my heart out. The Missions. I will cheer my heart out. And sometimes as a fan, I get a little bit amped up. And people keep asking about, well, what credibility do you have? I don't have any credibility. Who said that I did? I never said that I did. I've been a journalist for many years, but I stopped being a journalist because I don't want to have the journalistic expectations of things. See, journalists are not allowed to say what they think.
Yeah.
They're only supposed to report and maybe editorialize a little bit, but they can't say what they think.
You can't ask, as if you're a journalist or you're somebody in the media, you can't generally ask the questions that the fans want you to ask the players or the coaches.
Right.
Because you're there to do a job. You got to be professional.
You don't want to be blackballed.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, well, why don't you all have the balls to go and ask the coaches or the players this? Because they want to keep their job, you know?
Yeah. And it's all about keeping a job. And the Spurs know this. And that's why they don't give the media much of anything to work with when it comes to it all. And that's why you allow Pop to kind of just be, flippant towards the media. But it's so funny. Some of the bad takes I get are, what does Jimenez know about this, that, and the other? Has he ever been in the NBA? Well, you know what? Whenever Steven Jackson says something, you all shoot him down. That dude was in the NBA for a decade. Okay? That's a stupid take. Have you ever done this? Or have you ever done that? You know why? We criticize music all the time. Were you ever a musician? We criticize movies and TV shows all the time. Were you ever an actor, director, or writer or producer? We criticize politicians all the time. Were you ever in politics? We criticize teachers all the time. Were you ever a teacher? But no, for some reason, when it comes to sports, that becomes a go-to take. And it's a lazy, lame, boring take.
I like this comment here by Chris Gonzalez. Mike is Alan of the group from The Hangover. You're Alan.
And we're the three best friends that anyone could have. We're the three best friends that anyone could have. Sith Elias coming out with using his name for clout. How ironic. What clout? Trying to make money. Dude, we reinvest in here, okay? I don't put money into my checking account from this. I'm doing it for clicks. What click? What click? I don't get paid for clicks.
Garrett Vandergrift says he was diagnosed with heart problems on April. My heart is not working properly. What caused my body to gain weight? Holding too much water. He's slowly improving, but I got a long way to go.
Garrett, man, prayers up for you, my man. And thank you for being a loyal listener to this podcast.
Oh, look at it says, no, fool. They're using your name.
Oh, wow. They're using my name for clout. I have a name.
Thought of that.
I have a name. Who would have thought?
San Antonio's villain.
Oh, I know. Skip Jimenez is the other one.
I love that. Skip Jimenez.
That was, I think John Dyer was the one, or was it James Pledger who gave me that name?
I think it was John Dyer.
I think John Dyer said it first, and I think James ran with it.
It caught fire. Skip Jimenez.
I missed that guy. So I was invited out this weekend to go to some wine place, and they serve wine in a wine glass that you have to carry like a bowl.
Oh gosh, man.
Do you share that?
I mean, how can you drink that whole thing in one sitting, dude?
I know.
You're gonna
Can you drink wine with a straw? I'm looking forward to it. I don't
like wine though, man. It's like too fruity, dude. I'm more like into bourbon or tequila or beer, you know.
Oh, if it's wet and has alcohol in it, I'm gonna drink it. Hey, let's get into last night's game between the Knicks and the Pistons, because check out the final play of the game. I'm gonna look at the final play of the game real fast. Pistons trying to put the game away. Pistons on track to be the worst team in NBA history, by the way. Trying to put the game away with less than 10 seconds to go. And one of their players gets tackled. And that's a no call. Turns out to be a turnover. Knicks get the bucket, win the game. Pistons lose. Pistons, who I believe only have 8 wins on the season, trying to avoid being the worst team of all time. How is that a no call? How is this a no call? I'm an official, right? High school basketball official. I hate to say that I know what professional officials are doing, but I do 3-man officiating just like they do. And I know that you want to swallow your whistle at the end of the game, but how is that a no call? He literally got taken out and tackled. So
it's not football, it's basketball.
So Monty Williams takes to the podium after the game, and I thought that Monty Williams was better than most when it comes to this whole thing. He spoke for just barely over a minute, saying that was the worst call he's seen this year. He goes, actually, it's a no call because it's really not a call. And Monty Williams, I bet you, is going to get fined for this. Monty Williams, who, by the way, former Spur Monty Williams, Former Pop's family tree, if you will. The Knicks get that home court cooking, win that game. And it's just ridiculous what happened. And he's out there saying that was a terrible call, that things need to change, that we're constantly editing clips and sending it to the NBA officials office, like the headquarters, and asking, how are these things not being called? So as we go back to 2 Box, if we can, I have a suggestion here.
Sure.
And I don't know if this is something that already goes on or not. Earlier in the year, the Knicks lost a game that the NBA apologized for. I don't know if you saw that. Jalen Brunson was called for a foul. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Other team shoots a couple of free throws, wins the game, Knicks lose. So the Knicks have been on the victim side and also on the victorious side of bad officiating in the past 2 months. The reason why that Jalen Brunson call was not overturned was because the coaches ran out of challenges. You're only allowed to have, one challenge a half? My question for you is this, and this is my suggestion for the NBA. Why don't the officials have a challenge? Why don't the officials have the ability to step up and say, we're going to use our one challenge of the half because we're not sure what happened? As a high school basketball official, and again, I know this is the NBA, right? But I do high-level high school basketball. I know that whenever there's an issue that goes on, all the officials come together into the middle of the play, and we talk it out. It might take 5 seconds. It might take 15 seconds. You call up the other official and go, hey, man, what'd you see? This is what I saw. What did you see? We talk about it for 15 seconds. We go to the scores table. We make a call, and we do it as a team. We do it as a unit.
Why not just find the officials for making shitty calls?
Well, it's beyond all that, because this was not a shitty call. There was no call made.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but like at the NBA level.
And they were even saying that even if they did have a challenge, they couldn't challenge it because you can only challenge calls. This was a no call. So Monty Williams was screwed either way. The Pistons were screwed either way. This is a team that's fighting to avoid history. And my question is, why can't the officials step up and say, we need to have a challenge of our own? The NFL does it. You know, the NFL does it. What, the last 2 minutes of the game?
Yeah, all plays are reviewable.
Right, but yeah, it's in the last 2 minutes. They allow the officials to rely on headquarters for that. Let's go to New York to see what they saw, right? Why are the NBA officials not allowed to do that? Because that is ridiculous. Everybody knew that was a foul. If this had happened in Detroit, the place would have just been doused with beer. There would have been paper and cups all over the place.
Gonna riot.
But because it was home cooking, no big deal. Something's got to change when it comes to that, because it was such a bad call, man. Such a bad call. And the Pistons right there, who had a 28-game losing streak earlier in the year, 8-49. They could have picked up their 9th win. Jesus, man. That was awful. That was pathetic. And and I thought that Monty Williams, who's probably going to get fined, should have unleashed, but he didn't. And I think that because he didn't unleash, showed how upset he was. Like, sometimes you can say more by not being so angry.
Yeah.
Pistons right now with an 8-49 record, the worst record in the NBA. Washington, the Wizards now at 9-48. The Spurs have the 3rd worst record in the league right now at 11-47. Then there's a 4.5 game gap between the Spurs and the Charlotte Hornets. Top 3 spots, or bottom 3, however you look at it, have the best odds of getting the number 1 overall draft pick at 14% each. Those 3 teams also, Detroit, Washington, and the Spurs, have a 52.1% chance as of right now to land in the top 4 in the lottery, winning the lottery by being in the top 4. 4, 5, and 6 is Charlotte, Portland, and Phoenix. Toronto is sitting at number 7. And keep in mind, the Spurs have that draft pick should it fall outside of the top 6. If Toronto moves up into the top 4, then the Spurs don't get that pick until next year at the earliest.
It's not like it's not like it's going to be a bad, or it's not going to like, oh, it's not looking good for the Spurs. I mean, the consolation prize is they're probably still going to have a high pick than this year's draft. It'd be better if they had 2,
right?
But I mean, you got to get what you get,
right.
At this point. I mean, your least of your concerns is getting picks in the draft. You need to solidify what you have here as far as getting rid of some of the dead weight and bringing in some veteran players that know how to win a fucking game.
Chris Gonzalez reaches out to us on our YouTube stream saying maybe it's because it was a loose ball and both teams had an opportunity for the ball. Both teams don't have the opportunity to tackle another guy, and it looked to me as though the Pistons had possession of the ball. He was running up the court,
and the other guy just kind of leaned into him.
He tackled him. He tackled him. I mean, that wasn't even a play for the ball. He tackled him. Spurs don't run into that problem, says Jacob Eric, because the other team is usually dropping 20 on us at least.
There's been some close games that they've lost this year, but again, it wasn't like it was just one bad call or a play that, ruined the Spurs' chances. It's usually, rather than not, the Spurs making poor decisions down the stretch. But I understand the context of what's going on, especially when you're going into close games, playoff seeding and whatnot. Mm-hmm. If it's good teams playing, or even in the context of a playoff game that can decide the fate of one team going on and the other one, just go into Cancun.
Yeah.
That's not something you want to have the officials decide. You want to let the players sort of, hey, we're going to play, we're going to go ahead and decide our own fate. But when you leave it up to the officials, more than not, you're not going to get the call.
And I respect swallowing the whistle.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's got to be some sort of standard there. I mean, the guy got tackled.
Yeah, he got trampled, man. We gotta go a little bit of Mike's demon time here, man.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. So what was the question involving demon time? So what the mayor of what?
Just put in Sylvia, Silvia Trubger. She is the mayor of Santa Rosa de Araguay, and it says Paraguay posted this on her Instagram to celebrate her 35th birthday. I was like, oh my God.
Okay, so how old is she again?
35.
Okay, so Mayor Sylvia of Santa Rosa?
Araguay. Aguaray. It's on Johnny Rotten's 23's Twitter feed.
I gotta find some more pics here. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Give me her name again.
Sylvia, Silvia, and then Trubger, Trubger.
Trubger.
Yep. And it's like I said, it's if you go to Johnny Rotten on Twitter right now on the X at Johnny Rotten 23, you're gonna be able to see it on his feed.
Let's see here, Johnny Rotten 23. Let's see. Let's see what he's got. Let's see what he's got.
You see that? Just like it's demon time.
Oh, he's got a lot of demon stuff going on. His whole thing is demon time.
Johnny's got some good stuff.
There you go.
There you go. You saw it now. Just turn the music off. We don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, she ain't ugly.
No, she ain't.
If you want to show the video,
there you go.
I mean, I'd vote for her.
She's the mayor.
4 more years.
And Johnny, his thing is moving.
Demon Mike approves.
There you go.
Good Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
Feliz cumpleaños, Mayor.
I can't believe that's the mayor, dude. Damn.
I saw. It's funny that you mentioned that. I saw this post on TikTok the other day. It said hottest women of Congress.
Jeez.
And it was trying to name who they thought was the hottest women in Congress, and it was like Lauren Boebert.
Oh God,
Lauren Boebert, who likes getting groped.
Yes, I remember her.
At Little Shop of Horrors or wherever she was at.
Jeez, man.
They had AOC. I like AOC, dude. She's hot.
Look at that.
Lauren Boebert's hot too.
They were saying that's a 1 seat.
She's a nugget.
Look
at that as I'm packing my bags as we speak. Dude, I was enjoying listening to Stephen A. Smith earlier today.
What was he doing? Another rant?
Well, I was on the way over here. So when I pulled in, I was halfway through it. Stephen A. Smith was asked a question about celebrity crushes. And somebody asked it in a different way because we asked who your celebrity crush is. And I would say, right now, I'd say my number one is probably Ana de Armas, right? Or Sydney Sweeney or somebody like that. But the question they asked him was, give me your celebrity crush by decade.
Oh, man.
And so like an 80s and 90s. For me, it'd be 80s, 90s. Because I'm not going to give a 70s. I was 2.
Yeah.
Right? So if I had to go by decade, 80s was Susanna Hoffs, lead singer of the Bengals. 90s, I would say the 90s was Jennifer Love Hewitt. She was probably maybe even Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey would be my 90s, and probably Jennifer Love Hewitt would be the early 2000s. The 2010s,
Chris Gonzalez says, change the policy, lifetime mayor.
Eva Mendes would have been the 2010s. 2020s is Ana de Armas.
Man, Eva Mendes, I don't know, man.
What's that?
She looked like she a little crazy, bro, but all the hot ones
she's
are,
Cubana, man. I mean, that just is what it is.
They got a little passion in them.
Who's your, give me your by the decade.
Jeez, bro. 80s, I mean, can't even remember anymore. I would have to say Alyssa Milano growing up in the 80s.
There you go.
You know, watching Who's the Boss, you know.
She's still hot now.
Yeah.
A little crazy, but she's hot.
Of the 90s, I would have to say, if I look at the 90s, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to think, what shows was I watching in the 90s? I got to say, it was probably Jennifer Love Hewitt, because she did this one sitcom that I knew her from. It came out on ABC long time ago. It was called Birds of Paradise or something like that.
Oh.
And that was her forte into coming into like American television.
I liked her in Party
level.
of Five.
Yeah.
I liked her in Party of Five back
She
in the
was
day.
hot, dude. She was
all
hot.
women hated Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, shit, dude. I can imagine. She walked in the room, they're all going to talk bad about her.
Did you ever see her in that one show, The Client List?
Oh, yeah, dude. She's
where she was the massage therapist giving extras to make money because her husband lost his job.
I saw that, dude. Yeah, she was hot, man.
I mean, just the idea of that. Yeah, let's demon Micah onto that. Right?
Oh gosh.
Guy loses his job. Wife is giving handies for extra money, and people are like, "How are you making ends meet? I mean, you're able to pay the mortgage and stuff like that." Should he be offended? That's question number one. Question number two from the 90s was what? Indecent proposal. $1 million, sleep with your wife. I mean, index for inflation, by the way, that's like $2 million now.
In today's dollars.
In today's dollars.
You know who else was hot, dude, that I always had a thing for? That actress Rachel Weisz, dude. She's
Rachel
cute,
Weisz,
man.
Dude. She was good. She was the Scorpion King.
Yeah, dude.
Back
was
in the
cute,
day,
bro. She came out in that movie with Keanu Reeves years ago. I think it was like in the late 90s, early 2000s, called Chain Reaction.
Yeah.
She was hot in that too, man.
She was also good in Definitely Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a Ryan Reynolds movie. That's a good is that a chick flick? Maybe it is. It's not. Well, I guess it is. Romantic comedy. Has Isla Fisher.
Your rom-coms.
Elizabeth Banks. Nothing wrong with rom-coms every once in a while.
Oh man, I ain't really a fan of rom-coms, dude.
You got to get the sensitive side to you every once in a while.
Usually I'm busy doing other things around the house.
Because like the shoot 'em up Jason Statham type movies does nothing for me.
That's my jam, bro.
Like I see Jason Statham and I think to myself, wow, this movie is going to be shit.
You didn't see The Beekeeper?
Chris Gonzalez reaches out and says 90s Danielle Fisher, Topanga. 2000s Lacey Chabert. Speaking of Party of Five, she was in Party of Five. She was also Gretchen Wieners in Mean Girls.
Yeah.
And in the 2000s, 2010s, he has Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson is she's just amazing. She's amazing. Great Scarlett Johansson movie, by the way, is a movie called Match Point. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, even heard of that movie.
I've heard of it. It
is a movie that was directed by Woody Allen. And I'm not a Woody Allen guy. I think Woody Allen movies are just tiresome and I don't like them. But it was Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Rhys Meyers. And it was about a tennis pro who was like in the tour. You know, he would play Wimbledon and the U.S. Open, all that stuff, but he wasn't any good. I mean, he was good enough to be a professional player, but he was always getting knocked out in the first and second round.
Kind of like, I guess, the tennis version of Tin Cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he decides to call it a career, and he's looking for a job. So he gets hired as a tennis pro at a very nice tennis place in London. And he suddenly becomes like part of the upper echelon of people over there, like the very wealthy people. He's a working class guy who made decent money on the tour, but he's relatively a working class guy who's hanging out with these billionaires. And Scarlett Johansson is the girlfriend of one of the billionaire's sons. And they hate her because, you know, she's the American who's in England and she's trying to be a wannabe actress. She was so good in that movie. Weinstein coming out and saying Megan Fox is his celebrity crush. I'm sure that spans a lot of different decades there.
Yeah, because, I mean, she's cute and all, but man, she's just, as of late, dude, she's flying out there, dude.
Yeah. Jacob Eric says Jennifer Love Hewitt in Can't Hardly Wait was on fire.
Was fire. Yeah, bro.
Going down
reminiscing.
Body. Oh yeah. This topic will never get old, man.
It never
gets old. It never gets old. Because, you know, the thing about it is this, and maybe it's because we're getting older, or maybe it's because women are looking better the older that they get. I mean, we see photos right now of celebrities, whether they be Jennifer Lopez or Jennifer Garner or Sofia Vergara, Salma Hayek in their 50s, Jennifer Aniston, and they look amazing. They look amazing. I saw this thing, this meme the other day talking about Three's Company, the TV show from the early 80s.
Yeah.
And it was saying that Mr. Roper and Mrs. Roper, remember they came out as being old?
Oh, yeah.
They were in their 40s in the show.
They looked old as hell, dude.
Yeah. And then there's some people who are old and have been old from the very beginning. Like, go back in time. Edward James Olmos and Morgan Freeman in the 80s look the same like they do now. How old were they back then? Were they 12?
They were pretty damn old. You know who else looks, I mean, kind of long in the tooth already? Tommy Lee Jones, man.
Yeah. San Antonio's Tommy Lee Jones. Almost Parks, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah. He's up there in age already, bro. I think he's pushing close to 80, if he's not 80 plus already.
He is somebody that I think is most like his characters, because in his characters are always pissed off and angry, right? I believe that he's like the same guy.
Yeah, he probably is in real life.
Chris Gonzalez with a really good question. Who would you pick to play in a modern day Three's Company?
God, man.
So you need two girls and a guy, and
you need a brunette, a blonde,
a brunette, a blonde, and you would need a Larry. Chris, I like this.
And a Jack Tripper.
Okay.
Mr. Furley was my favorite, dude. He was funny.
Mr. Furley was great.
Yeah.
Jack Tripper would have to be.
What was the name of the bar?
The Regal Beagle.
The Regal Beagle. Hey, they had this one actress that was at the Regal Beagle, and they showed pictures of her, recently, and I was just like, they're like, wow, bro.
I think Zac Efron would be a good Jack Tripper.
Jack Tripper. Oh man.
Because he's very masculine, but also very in touch with his feminine side at the same time. He was great in the Iron Claw. I think Zac Efron would be that guy. Or does it have to be younger? Because Jack Tripper was in his 30s, right? So
no, I think he was in late 20s. Late 20s. I think he was 30 yet.
So I would go with Zac Efron. Now the blonde. The blonde would have to be Sydney Sweeney.
Who would be the brunette?
The brunette has to be white, because that show, there was no Latina version.
Well, you could change it up.
Although Terry was hot. When Chrissy left, Terry was hot.
But you could switch it up in modern times, though. It's gonna be Three's Company. Just because they're brunette.
I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to stick to the classic model there. God, brunette. Would it be like a Zooey Deschanel?
That wouldn't be a bad pick.
Because short hair, bangs. I like where this is going. There's an age difference between Zooey Deschanel and Sydney Sweeney, but I'll roll with it.
You'll make it work.
This is a great topic. I think we should have this like as a topic on on Twitter to see what people would come up with and maybe combine them.
bring together your modern day Threes Company. Probably people like of a certain age, will remember this, but like the younger generation will be like, "What the hell is this? What are y'all talking about, you old heads?"
Some of these shows from back in the day, man, were so good, so good. I was a Quantum Leap fan, dude. That was my show growing up. Was Quantum Leap.
I remember that one.
Scott Bakula, who then ended up being in that movie, Necessary Roughness, which was filmed over there.
What
in
was
San
the
Marcos.
hologram's name? Ziggy.
Ziggy. The hologram's name is Brian Wright. Speaking of Brian Wright, Spurs back in action tonight against the T-Wolves. Don't forget to follow Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Let's show him some love.
Who's today's guest? It's none other than our boy, Rudy Campos Jr. from Sweep the League.
There you go.
Definitely go ahead and repost that right now. And make sure you go ahead and watch Sweep the League. They're going to be on today from 2 p.m. all the way up until 3:30. Make sure you can check them out. And you can see them here on the Alamo City Podcast Network here on YouTube. Same place that you're catching our show. Make sure you come back at 2. Give Rudy some love. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're getting closer to 700. We greatly appreciate y'all's support. Again, as we get closer to 1,000, we start looking at some dunk tanks here. Micah's going to go into the drink.
I'm going to do something.
Yeah, but the other thing is, too, since I'm going to go ahead and mess with the graphic for the T-shirts this week, maybe we'll start giving some away with the listener interaction here,
What we need to do, as far as giveaways are concerned, maybe we can hit up RCW. Maybe we can make it an event for the listeners of this show to go out to RCW and say, we want a block of tickets. Nice. That would be fun.
That would be fun. I mean, we could actually reach out to Brandon and see if he wants to come in studio. I mean, we could make it work. We got room for him, maybe one more wrestler.
Yeah.
I got an extra mic. It's wireless, and it'll work.
They're going to do the chop across my chest.
Yeah. Oh, man, that would be, dude. I can only imagine how loud that would be here in the studio. The chop.
Yep. Bam. Bam. You off today?
No, I got to work. I work today, work tomorrow. I'm off on Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I have a Zoom meeting at 2:00. I think I'm going to go for a run tonight. Go get at least 3 miles in. Check my legs, see if I want to do 6.25 on Saturday. It's the donut dash, so they give you donuts at the very end. So I might have to figure that one out. It's $85 to go run it though, man. But it's charity, so it is what it is.
Yeah, it's for charity. It goes to a good cause, I'm sure. And just speaking of that, man, I did see that we do have the functionality to go ahead and start a fund for charity here live on the stream as we're doing the stream. So there's a lot of things we can do. Like I was even telling you, and I was kind of throwing this out there to the listeners too, the viewers here interacting with this, is we're going to start rolling something out. I'm going to see if we can do it as soon as next week, called Media Share.
Mm-hmm.
So what these guys are going to be able to do is they give us a tip. They're going to be able to share videos, pictures with us. And of course, we're going to screen them before. But if it's in the context of what we're talking about, or leave it up to the listeners to send us some content here, we can talk about it live as we're doing the show.
Badass. Tell you a little, one of the articles written by Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. It's posing the question, will San Antonio ever host another NBA All-Star game? Saying that the last one was back in 1996. I remember that, man. I was 18 years old, about to be 19 when it happened. Interesting, because it was talking about all the different things that would need to be done, the number of hotel rooms, the size of a convention center, the number of nonstop domestic flights would need to be in a certain area. To me, I think if the city of San Antonio got another arena at the Institute of Texan Cultures, we're going to get an All-Star game. It's going to happen.
It would be in a nice location, finally. It's near the Alamo Dome. It's near downtown. You could walk to the tower if you wanted to, get on the public transportation. It's more of out of convenience, and you do have things to do
right
once the game is done. You can go to the restaurants, bars, and have some fun at the Riverwalk downtown. It's not like you're in the middle of nowhere,
right?
And you just want to get the F out of there as soon as you can. You don't want to linger. Let's put it like that.
Very true. Very true. I want to thank CT, the Mike Slayer, Carolina Teague, for being on today's show. Don't forget to also follow Rudy Campos Jr. because Sweep the League is going to start at 2:00 here on this network, and also Brandon Medina has his show. And that how often is Brandon's show? It's once a week, right?
Once a week, Generation Duo with him and Johnny Tejera as they talk about pop culture. And it's more of a comedy podcast, so it's kind of funny. We're listening to them and seeing the comments that they come up with.
That's awesome. I need to get back to work, so we're going to end the show right now. But again, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with your friends. Let people know that we're doing what we're doing over here. And don't forget also to check out our website, Alamo City Podcast Network.com. Very cool. My name is Mikey Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. We'll be back tomorrow.
See you, boys. Peace.